I can assure you that Pass or Refund is the best resource for preparing for IT exams. We refund your money if you do not pass on your first attempt. Let us now jump into some questions to see how prepared you are. So, consider this scenario. A data engineer at a manufacturing company is designing a data processing platform that gets a lot of unstructured data. This engineer needs to fill a well-structured star schema in Amazon Redshift. What's the most efficient way to set up the architecture for that? The best choice is A. So, for high-volume, unstructured data, the best thing to do is move the transformation process to a distributed processing engine like Amazon EMR. What about this one? So, a company's got a bunch of analyst teams, and each team, well, they've got their own cluster. These teams need to run SQL queries using things like Hive, Spark SQL, and Presto with Amazon EMR. The company wants to set up a centralized metadata layer so they can show the Amazon S3 objects as tables to these analysts. So, which approach would actually work for a centralized metadata layer here? The right pick is B, to give Hive, Spark SQL, and Presto a central place for their metadata across different EMR clusters. You really need to separate the Hive metastore from those individual clusters. Okay, let's move on. An administrator needs to manage a large catalog of items from various external sellers. The administrator needs to determine if the items should be identified as minimally dangerous, dangerous, or highly dangerous, based on their textual descriptions. The administrator already has some items with a danger attribute, but receives hundreds of new item descriptions every day without such classification. The administrator has a system that captures dangerous goods reports from the customer support team or from user feedback. What is a cost-effective architecture to solve this issue? Going with C. The task requires classifying text into 3 categories. Multi-class classification. Hey, check this out. So, a company gets data sets from outside providers, right? They all come in through Amazon S3. Now, the thing is, these data sets, they actually depend on each other. And to make things a bit tricky, they arrive at different times and not in any specific order. So, a data architect needs to figure out a solution that lets the company do 2 main things. First, they need to quickly analyze data across different sets as soon as it's ready. And second, they need to manage all those dependencies between data sets that just pop up whenever. So what kind of architecture strategy would be both scalable and cost-effective for all that? The correct answer is D. The proposed architecture uses Amazon S3 event notifications to kick off AWS Lambda functions as soon as objects arrive. Now, consider this. A Redshift data warehouse has different user teams that need to query the same table, but with very different query types. These user teams are experiencing poor performance. So, which action improves performance for these user teams in this situation? I'd go with D. Amazon Redshift Workload Management, WLM, lets users create multiple query queues that have different resource configurations. Let's see how you do with this. A company operates an international business served from a single AWS region. The company wants to expand into a new country. The regulator for that country requires the data architect to maintain a log of financial transactions in the country within 2004 hours of the product transaction. The production application is latency insensitive. The new country contains another AWS region. What is the most cost-effective way to meet this requirement? The right choice is D. Amazon S3 Cross-Region Replication, CRR, is designed for compliance and disaster recovery. Okay, Let's move on. An administrator needs to design the event log storage architecture for events from mobile devices. The event data will be processed by an Amazon EMR cluster daily for aggregated reporting and analytics before being archived. How should the administrator recommend storing the log data? So, the best choice here is C, Amazon. S3 is the most cost-effective and performant storage layer for batch EMR processing of historical log data. What about this one? A data engineer wants to use an Amazon Elastic Map reduce for an application. They need to make sure it complies with regulatory requirements. The auditor must be able to confirm at any point which servers are running and which network access controls are deployed. So, what action should the data engineer take to meet this requirement? The right pick is, okay. To satisfy audit requirements regarding infrastructure, state, and networking, the auditor needs read-only access to AWS resource metadata. Okay, let's see how you do with this. A social media customer has data from different sources, like RDS running MySQL, Redshift, and Hive on EMR. To get better insights, they need to analyze this data from all these different sources and then combine the results. What's the cheapest way to do all this? The right choice is B. Presto is the ideal solution for federated query requirements in AWS environments. Let's see how you do with this one. So, an Amazon EMR cluster using EMRFs can access petabytes of data on Amazon S3, and this data comes from lots of different sources. The customer needs to query common fields across some of those datasets to do interactive joins and then quickly show the results. What technology would be most appropriate to make this happen? The correct selection is Presto, which is now often called Trino, is the industry standard for running interactive ad hoc SQL queries on big datasets stored in S3. Now, consider this. So, a new algorithm has been written in Python to identify spam emails. The algorithm analyzes the free text contained within a sample set of 1 million emails stored on Amazon S3. The algorithm must be scaled across a production dataset of 5 petabytes, which also resides in Amazon S3 storage. Which AWS service strategy is best for this use case? I'm going with B. For petabyte scale data processing on S3 using custom Python code, Amazon EMR is the industry standard. Hey, take a look at this. A game company needs to scale its game application, which, is backed by DynamoDB. Amazon Redshift has the last 2 years of historical data. Now, game traffic varies throughout the year due to different things like the season, new movie releases, and holidays. An administrator needs to figure out how much read and write throughput should be set up for the DynamoDB table for each week in advance. So, how should they get this done? The best choice is A. To predict continuous numerical values like DynamoDB read capacity units, RCU, and write capacity units, WCU. Based on historical dataset trends, a regression model is the most appropriate machine learning approach. Here's a good one. A data engineer is about to perform a major upgrade to the DDL contained within an Amazon Redshift cluster to support a new data warehouse application. The upgrade scripts will include user permission updates, view and table structure changes, as well as additional loading and data manipulation tasks. The data engineer must be able to restore the database to its existing state in the event of issues. So, which action should be taken prior to performing this upgrade task? The best choice is B. To ensure a cluster can be restored to its exact state after significant modifications like DDL changes and schema updates, taking a manual snapshot is the most reliable approach. Consider this scenario. A large oil and gas company needs to provide near real-time alerts when peak thresholds are exceeded in its pipeline system. The company has developed a system to capture pipeline metrics, such as flow rate, pressure, and temperature, using millions of sensors. The sensors deliver to AWS IoT. What is a cost-effective way to provide near real-time alerts on the pipeline metrics? The answer is using the AWS IoT rules engine is the industry-standard serverless approach for triggering alerts based on device metrics in real time. Try this question. A company is using Amazon machine learning as part of a medical software application. The application will predict the most likely blood type for a patient based on a variety of other clinical tests that are available when blood type knowledge is unavailable. What is the appropriate model choice and target attribute combination for this problem? I would go with Amazon machine learning supports 3 types of predictive models: binary classification, multi-class classification, and regression. Here's another challenge. A data engineer is running a DWHI on a 25-node Redshift cluster of a SaaS service. The data engineer needs to build a dashboard that will be used by customers. 5 big customers represent 80% of usage, and there is a long tail of dozens of smaller customers. The data engineer has selected the dashboarding tool. How should the data engineer make sure that the larger customer workloads do not interfere with the smaller customer workloads? The right choice is B. Amazon Redshift Workload Management, WLM, enables the configuration of multiple query queues. Here's another challenge. An Amazon Kinesis stream needs to be encrypted. Which approach should be used to accomplish this task? The answer is, While Amazon Kinesis data stream supports server-side encryption using AWS KMS, client-side encryption on the producer side is a standard architectural approach when end-to-end security is required before data reaches any AWS infrastructure. Here's the next one. An online photo album app has a key design feature to support multiple screens, for example, desktop, mobile phone, and tablet, with high-quality displays. Multiple versions of the image must be saved in different resolutions and layouts. The image processing Java program takes an average of 5 seconds per upload, depending on the image size and format. Each image upload captures the following image metadata: user, album, photo label, upload timestamp. The app should support the following requirements: hundreds of user image uploads per second, maximum image upload size of 10 megabytes, maximum image metadata size of 1 kilobyte, image displayed in optimized resolution in all supported screens no later than 1 minute after image upload. Which strategy should be used to meet these requirements? The correct selection is C. The optimal design pattern for asynchronous image processing in AWS is to store the original object in Amazon S3 and use S3 event notifications to trigger an AWS Lambda function. Let's tackle this. A customer needs to determine the optimal distribution strategy for the orders fact table in its Redshift schema. The orders table has foreign key relationships with multiple dimension tables in this schema. How should the company determine the most appropriate distribution key for the orders table? The correct answer is D. In Amazon Redshift, the goal of selecting a distribution key for a large fact table is to minimize data movement, shuffling, across nodes during joins. Let's see how you do with this. A customer is collecting clickstream data using Amazon Kinesis and is grouping the events by IP address into 5-minute chunks stored in Amazon S3. Many analysts in the company use Hive on Amazon EMR to analyze this data. Their queries always reference a single IP address. Data must be optimized for querying based on IP address using Hive running on Amazon EMR. What is the most efficient method to query the data with Hive? The correct answer is B. In Hive, data is physically separated into directories to allow for partition pruning. I hope you found the questions helpful. Do comment. How many did you get right? Also, don't forget to check out passorefund.io because we are confident on our content and give you a refund if you don't pass on your first attempt.